Things have changed since the last Apocalypse Joust. More survivors have made their way to safety under the bridge. But it's a more dangerous and unpredictable world. Natural disasters can strike at any time. It's still survive or be destroyed. Welcome
to the Apocalypse Joust. I'm Aaron Yonda. This is the most dangerous diecast event that you'll see. These 5 teams are going to be constantly under threat as they compete. Let's take a closer look at the teams. First up, it is the Spotted Otter Speedsters. Looks like maybe they hit a blizzard on the way here. All the way from Oregon, it's the Oregon Outcast Rusty Raiders. They probably got even rustier on the way here. Created in the Team Forge, it's Jalop Apocalypse. 5 cars that fought their way onto this team. Caleb's Chaos Causers have some good survivors here and one big guy with a ramp. Moo Cow Horse Farm. Apparently Moss took over the hay and turned the cows into horse-cow hybrids. It's time for the joust. Starting us off for Caleb's Chaos Causers, the Fighter Bomber, sponsored by PriceX Private Parts. And that ramp is set up. If that thing stays on the track, it's gonna cause some damage. And what are those things at the top of the ramp? We'll see what happens with those. Next up is Green Machine for the Spotted Otter Speedsters. Green Machine takes that ramp, goes through the goalposts, and comes away no problem. Couple of turns, hits a height of 7 on the way to a recovery. Fantastic job keeping the speedsters going. First up for Jalop Apocalypse, the Road Warrior, sponsored by Judy Collins. The Road Warrior takes that ramp and also has pretty good luck with it. DEADMAXX flips over and I think made a recovery. It's tough to say. Hitting a 6 on the way there, not quite as high as the last car. And if it stays like that, it's tough to say whether that's in or out. Steal the Mustang, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers for Moo Cow Horse Farm. Looks like the cow-horse hybrid stole a Mustang, and now they've crashed straight into the wall, turning over sideways. I don't know if there was a chance of a recovery with this thing. It hits a 7, does not make a recovery. Absolute chaos for a second. That Mustang is right side up, and now the whole thing is sideways. Ford F-150 Lightning, sponsored by Reaper EOD for the Oregon Outcasts. Couple of barrel rolls later and there is no recovery made. It actually looks like those little goalpost things tweaked it as it was going off. Hits a 7, but then because of the goalpost, it cannot make the recovery happen. And without some luck, that thing is finished. And that would be a loss for the Rusty Raiders. Turtle Bomb up next for the Chaos Causers, sponsored by Sicken. Turtle Bomb takes that ramp, can't tell if it recovered, but look who did recover. The Ford F-150, a miracle recovery from Turtle Bomb. Turtle Bomb hits a 7 with its head and then makes that recovery happen and saves the Rusty Raiders. And we've only got 1 elimination so far in the round. The Black Destroyer for the Speedsters, sponsored by StarCorps Industries. Black Destroyer takes that ramp and flips around in kind of an awkward way, but still manages to end up right side up in sort of a dangerous position, though. A little wobbly right there. Here comes General Mayhem, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. General Mayhem has been good at taking the ramps. We saw this in the Team Forge, and it does it again. Hits a 7, bounces back, and lands flat. Great news for Jalop Apocalypse, and look at that, the Road Warrior makes a recovery because of his teammate. Saved. Move Over, sponsored by the Test Joust series. Move Over takes the ramp. I think they lost a horse or a cow. I'm not sure which. Looks like a cow or both. I guess it probably is both. It hits a height of 8. That thing bounces all over the place and does not recover, and neither does the horse cow. What a launch into the sky by Move Over. Fastbed Hauler for the Rusty Raiders, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Fastbed Hauler, ooh, never gonna get a chance to set up that ramp. Instead, it flips up in the air, a little front heavy, hits an 8 as well, and then turns upside down. No chance of recovery there, and the Black Destroyer was dragged down a little bit from that landing. Can't tell if it's in or out right now, looks in. 16 Daggers, sponsored by Judy Collins. 16 Daggers is great at these kind of recoveries. An agile car if I've ever seen one, and it proves it right here. Hits a 7, bounces off the wall, pulls it together, and makes it happen. That's great news for the Chaos Causers. Causers. I am enjoying trying to say these tongue twister team names. And we've got our first random event. The Apocalypse Joust is very dangerous now, and this time it is a Winnebago Rampage. Winnebago is angry and drives down the track, but there's a ramp, and so it doesn't do anything. Except maybe displace a couple of cars on landing, hits a 7, smashes into the wall. Sort of a useless rampage. I don't think it changed much. But these random events have 3 levels of severity, so if we get this one again, it could be worse. Killer Cupcake, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. Killer Cupcake, look at that, rebuffed by those things at the top of the ramp, and it's good for the Cupcake. It backs off the track to safety and stays alive. Electro Bolt, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds, also the creator of that. Electro Bolt kind of pops up, hits the goalposts, and flips over and lands on top of the plane. That's an iffy place to balance and hang out. We'll see what happens. Whoa there, Nelly. Sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. 125-gram massive plunging hit into the wall, takes down Electro Bolt, turning it over sideways, hits a 7 with the hay on top of that tractor, and I don't know if that thing, I guess it made a recovery, I think. Kind of got wedged in there at a lucky angle. Was not thinking that thing would make a recovery, but that looks pretty good. Super Comp Destroyer, sponsored by the Mad Brit King. Super Comp Destroyer with a nice barrel roll into the wall. It makes the recovery happen, hits a 7 before it pulls it out, keeps the Rusty Raiders going. Have they even lost a vehicle? I'm not sure they have. Coming down now, Power Missile, sponsored by Torgoth the Infinite Horror. Power Missile goes flying off that ramp, and it spins around multiple times, hits the wall and lands pretty flat, and I think makes a recovery. Hits a height of 8. Will we see a 9 in this match? It looks like the goalposts on that ramp cause a lot of spinning, but some vehicles can handle that. The pile, however, is growing. Blue Screw, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos for the Speedsters. Blue Screw does the same thing that many of these vehicles has done, spinning around and landing flat, hitting a height of 8, then makes that recovery happen and grows that pile even further. Not exactly a safe landing spot though. Gringles, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Gringles takes the ramp and disappears out of sight, falls into a hole in the pile, and I don't think it's recovering. Nope, that is upside down. It is finished. That'll be a loss for Apocalypse. I can't even say the teams that I came up with the names for. Bringing the Beef, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm, for Moo Cow Horse Farm. Moo Cow Horse Farm's sponsored vehicle for their own team flips over and loses a horse cow. It hits a height of 8 before smashing into the wall and breaking off a cow and flipping over sideways. It's tough to say. I think it might be close to a recovery though somehow. The physics on the vehicles on this team are crazy. Beautiful to watch. The Maisto new Beetle Basher. You can sponsor cars via the Junkyard Joust Patreon. Go check out the reward levels. Beetle Basher takes that ramp and does not make a recovery, cannot find a place to make it happen. Hits a height of 6 before plowing into the wall. Looks like it might have made a recovery, but it got caught up in what is a ridiculously large pile at this point. SWAT 4-2, sponsored by Evil Twin. SWAT 4-2 gets some serious height. Look at that. Bounding up in the air and then flipping over. I don't think it made the recovery, but it hits a 9 before it finally lands upside down and out. That'll be a loss for the Chaos Causers off of that ramp that has been very steady this whole match. don't think that thing is moving. Maybe I spoke too soon. Now here comes Behemoth, 190 grams, sponsored by Farty Marty, heaviest vehicle on the track. And what even was that? It drives up on the ramp and then just kind of parks. Parks in a very strange position, but has its own ramp sort of in place. This is gonna get weird. Normally the custom 77 Dodge van would set up that ramp, not gonna be able to. Sponsored by Midnight Smiler, and it makes a recovery, bonks into the ramp, flips over, and stays alive. Maybe we will get to see that ramp in action after all. Rise Up Equine Bovines, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Rise Up Equine Bovines go straight over and do not rise up. They eliminate themselves, but they also push Behemoth out of position farther ahead. Still balanced precariously, but right side up. Here comes another big one, Wasteland Bruiser, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. 154 grams, and it just flops right over. It just gets stuck on the ramp, smashes into Behemoth, topples over sideways. Meanwhile, Behemoth falls over and looks like it may have recovered. I think we're gonna have to take a measurement on that. Round 1 has been tumultuous, and it's over. We ended up with a pretty decent amount of eliminations, 9 out of 25, and taking some measurements. Whoa there, Nelly is in at 41 degrees, and Behemoth is in at 34. Not really even close to elimination. So 9 eliminations it will be. We are down to 16, and one team did not lose any. It was the Spotted Otter Speedsters. The biggest hits were taken by the Rusty Raiders and Mukau Horse Farm, who are down to 2 apiece. Caleb's Chaos Causers only lost 1. They are down to 4, and Jalop Apocalypse is down 2 to 3. Spotted Otter Speedsters will start us off in round 2 with Behemoth. Now they get a chance to start things off with their ramp, and they've deployed it successfully. Behemoth in the house. But already the random event has been triggered. It's a level 1 zombie attack. Not only can you sponsor vehicles, but you can also sponsor these random events via the Patreon page. Check it out. Fighter Bomber's coming down now, and kaboom! Zombies go flying. Fighter Bomber, which was a devastating ramp last time, has been flipped over and taken out, unless some sort of miracle happens. And it also clears the track of those zombies pretty thoroughly. General Mayhem takes this new ramp. Ooh, does not have good luck with it. Ends up upside down, just can't make a recovery. Seems like maybe General Mayhem likes other cars to bounce off of to make its recoveries, and since there was none here, height of 6 doesn't matter, it is finished. Another loss for Jalop Apocalypse. Ford F-150 takes this new ramp and kind of smacks into the old one a little bit. Does not make a recovery this time, just like last time. Hits the wall, hits a height of 7, and starts to come back, but maybe it'll get lucky again. Gonna be a lot harder from an upside down position. Whoa there, Nelly collides with the ramp of Fighter Bomber, smashes both into the wall, does not help Fighter Bomber at all. It hits a 6, another smash into the wall, and ends up sideways, and I'm just not seeing a miracle recovery for that thing this time around. Green Machine hits its teammate's ramp and struggles with that recovery. Bounces off the other ramp that's against the wall, hits a height of 6 before it falls down to what appears to be a sideways position, and it looks like with a little help it could potentially get back to right side up, but not super likely. Turbo Bomb with a great recovery. Turbo Bomb always very trustworthy on a ramp, and it slides, sort of rail grinds off of Fighter Bomber and finds a nice little place to hang out. The Road Warrior is kind of consistent, smashes into the wall and lands in a similar spot as last time, similar position as last time, but it did make a recovery, and that's good news for Jalop Apocalypse, as long as it stays like that. Super Comp Destroyer for the Rusty Raiders flips over after hitting the wall. Ooh, man, it looked like it could have made a recovery, but that awkward upside down ramp is there and making things difficult. So far, over half the field has been eliminated. Bringing the beef straight into the wall, goes upside down and out, and that is going to be our first team elimination, assuming it stays like that. It swings up to a 7. Somehow those cow horses are staying inside that wagon. Maybe they've got some sort of magnetic hooves. Another vehicle down in this round. Blue Screw takes its teammate's ramp, hits the wall, and goes in, gets caught up, gets squished sideways by Road Warrior, and I'm not sure it's going to be able to get out of that position. 16 Daggers, always reliable and a great job of getting that recovery. Actually uses the wall to skitter over to the right-hand side and find some free space. That was an amazing job. A height of 6 on the way there before it shelves itself to recovery, using a zombie as a landing spot. Custom 77 Dodge van. Oh, it looks like we're never going to get to see that ramp in action, taken out by a different ramp. Behemoth has taken another victim. Killer Cupcake, ooh, no luck with this ramp. It flips over, a funny little bounce and a hop, but there's nowhere to land. Killer Cupcake is kaput. Power Missile takes the ramp and struggles with it as well. A lot of classic vehicles that are usually better with ramps just can't find anywhere to survive this one. Hits a 6, tries to shelf it over, but it does not pay off. And that car is sideways at the moment and out. It's possible that round 2 might see more eliminations than round 1. Black Destroyer flips up in an awkward position after taking the teammate's ramp. However, it looks like it's probably not beyond 90 degrees, so that could be a fortuitous position to land in. And that was the end of the round. I think we're going to be taking at least a measurement or two here. 11 eliminations, and the measurement on Black Destroyer, it is below 90 degrees, so it will stay in the match. There are the 11 losses. I know we're going to lose a team or two here, and we need to get down to 2 teams. It looks like there are still 3 teams alive. Rusty Raiders and Mookow Horse Farm have been wiped. Jalop Apocalypse is down to 1. The Speedsters and the Chaos Causers down to 2 each. This is still anybody's match. Oh, looks like the zombies might be up to something for the random event. You can help us keep making these episodes of Junkyard Joust every week by supporting the Joust. As little as $5 a month can help us keep doing it. Turbo Bomb up first for Caleb's Chaos Causers. And it slots in down towards the end of the track. Speedsters are second up. They do not have to deal with a ramp, so they will send down their own ramp. Had a lot of success with that last round, and look at this. Behemoth with that front undercutter takes out Turbo Bomb, throwing it up against the side of the wall where a lot of agile vehicles have met their demise. And now the random event is in effect. It is Zombie Attack Level 2. The zombies come hurtling down the track, riding in a car. They smash into the wall and fly everywhere. The zombie car makes a recovery and actually hits a height of 7. Wow, the zombies really got some height there. That zombie car's recovery, of course, does not matter. The zombies are not a part of this competition, but there's no escaping these zombies in the apocalypse. Doesn't look like they did any damage, however. The Road Warrior goes off the ramp and makes it happen for Jalop Apocalypse. If it had gotten eliminated, they would be finished. It might be that one of those zombies actually helped it turn over. Tough to say, but that is great news. The Road Warrior keeps his team alive. 16 Daggers, however, does not have good luck with the ramp this time. After amazing recovery after amazing recovery, 16 Daggers turns over sideways, way over by the height tower, hits a height of 7, and then cannot make it happen. I thought maybe it got caught up against the wall, but no, just a bad tumble. And Caleb's Chaos Causers have been eliminated, unless there is a miracle. Final car of the round, the Black Destroyer, and it takes the ramp and makes the recovery. Great news for the Spotted Otter Speedsters. They are going to make it to the main event. That is the end of round 3 in a surprisingly quick match. 2 eliminations in that round, and they were both from the same team. The Chaos Causers are finished. They made a good go of it. Bad luck for them, but it will be Jalop Apocalypse and the Spotted Otter Speedsters that are moving on. Here are the point totals. They do not matter for the winners. They are just for the potential wild card slots. 8 points, probably not enough to get into the wild card, I'm going to guess. But that remains to be seen. Congrats to our winners. Here are the 4 teams that have qualified so far. This list will just grow and grow MADMAXX getting a well-deserved snack over at Mabel's Mystery Meats. Thank you to Star Corps Industries for a lot of the buildings that you see here on the Apocalypse Joust. But now it is time to go. Baby Humongous Cookie, send us off.
I was famous!